Hi folks, Canadian Prepper here. So guys, this is not the daily World War Z update. That's coming up in a minute or so. But I just want to give you guys a heads up. Here in Canada, we're seeing an unprecedented outage today of debit machines, wireless communication across the country, across the Rogers network in particular. This is impacting emergency services. It's impacting people's ability to transact, send e-transfers, use their debit machines, signs up all over the place saying we can't accept debit. Today we can only accept cash. Some places are still accepting credit. ATMs are also affected unless it's your home branch. RBC doesn't appear to be affected as much, but a lot of the other banks are. Now, what is the cause of this? That is the question, because this is causing pandemonium across the city, and nobody is really connecting the dots at all, because, you know, to be quite frank, most people are just ignorant and oblivious to what is going on in the world right now, and they wouldn't know a cyber attack if it slapped them in the face. The banks are full of people lined up to get cash, because this is why you should always carry cash this day and age, because this thing can happen at the flick of a switch, and they're just going to outright turn you down. And there was a lot of disgruntled people who didn't get their Starbucks and Tim Hortons this morning. Migrant workers across the country felt the wrath of Karen this morning. And that was just because they couldn't get their coffee. Okay, I seen cars peeling out of the drive-thru, people walking away distraught, not knowing, what they were going to do with their lives after not getting their morning coffee. And it was bad. Fortunately, I always carry a 20 spot on me just in case something like that happens, because if the shizzy's going to hit the fizzy, I at least want to have my last cup of coffee, before it all goes down. But, I couldn't imagine. I can't imagine, as much as I imagine, as much as all the videos I've made, I cannot imagine what it's going to be like when people can't get the stuff they need. Never mind the coffee, the stuff they need. Now, while Rogers has yet to provide any details about why this outage is occurring, the communications security establishment confirmed to Global News that their Center for Cybersecurity has been in contact with Rogers and has offered assistance in the event they should need it. One supposed expert, just some random expert, believes that it may be due with an update to the system that is causing this network outage. And this is affecting millions of people across the country. Okay, I'm going to show you a graph of Rogers' internet service. Basically, it fell off a cliff there this morning. Okay, so it started off descending, and then it just tanked. Okay, right around 3 a.m. in the morning. Now, I'm assuming that internet traffic is lower during the night, so that's probably why that explains this downtrend. But this drop off here is, of course, due to the widespread outage. Now, the internet monitoring watchdog NetBlocks.org reports that the total internet traffic in Canada was down nearly 70 to 75% of its normal level. That's huge, because we are a very heavily internet dependent country, a country of 40 million people. That means that a lot of people are not on the internet. Rogers network, I believe, services around 2 million. They're one of the largest networks. I believe they also provide network services for many other companies that do with debit machines, emergency services. A lot of the emergency service phone services on Rogers phones are not working. You know how your cell phone, if it's not, even if you don't have cell service, 911 is supposed to work by law. Apparently that's not happening in some cases because of the network outage. Interact services are down, e-transfers are down, so you can't send some e-transfer payments. Toronto Police Service tweeted Rogers customers in the city were having trouble connecting to 911, but stressed that 911 service itself was still working. Imagine the havoc that's going to be brought when they really start unleashing the big cyber weapons. When the real cyber war starts. The funny thing is, and it's not funny at all, but this is, when we made our cyber war video, the first 12 hours of a cyber war. If you haven't seen that video, go and check it out. It's, in my personal opinion, it's one of our most underrated videos, because this is one of the first things that happens in the case of a global cyber war. Okay, it's the debit machines stop working and the lineups start to pile up. People start to, most people just simply, they just say, oh, the debit machines are down, right? They don't put two and two together, realize that we're in World War III because not enough people watch this channel, damn it. And I know a lot of you guys, I took a lot of flack yesterday for some of my titles that I use. I really don't care anymore, to be brutally honest. I mean, if you don't understand the imminence of the situation, as much as I've explained the situation of people ad nauseum at this point, I just simply don't care, because we are in a state of alarm right now. And if you don't understand that, then go and unsubscribe to the channel. Just do me a favor, unsubscribe, because, and you'll be back. Trust me, you will be back. Other problems that government is facing include bottleneck passport services. Now, this is kind of a funny one, but not so funny for the people who are going to be subjected to it. The Canadian Border Service Agency says that ArriveCan app is disabled as a result of the outage. And as a result, anyone arriving in Canada will have to have a paper copy of their vaccination status. So imagine being turned around because this app doesn't work that you were relying on. Jeez. CBC Radio station has been taken offline. Oh no, what are we going to do? In Kitchener, Ontario, as a result of the outage, Ottawa's transit agency told its customers it's experiencing technical issues with the internet and are unable to provide some telephone services. Look at all these things that are connected to the internet. Isn't this incredible? This technology analyst, Ritesh Kotak, says he suspects the outage is the cause of an update gone wrong in one of Rogers' internal systems. Okay. Whatever you say, buddy. This kind of thing does not happen. Okay, I mean, it happened once back in April, but not to this extent. April of 2021, I should say. So I think this is big. Lots of people are joking about this online, of course. It's good to see people, taking it lightly, but at the same time, the implications of this are quite profound if this is a cyber attack, because Canada is definitely going to be in the crosshairs of the Ruskies and the Chinese from here on in. And this is funny. Welcome to the jungle, a Starbucks barista told Global News as he walked through the coffee shop this morning. Coffee shops with working Wi-Fi saw a flood of internet-hungry customers go to their businesses. So, especially, this happened, like Toronto, one of the biggest cities, the biggest city in Canada. I could see this causing a lot of chaos and just ruining a lot of people's day, because I know it seems quite trivial and inconsequential, but for a lot of people, you go, you don't get that morning coffee. It kind of disturbs your day, and then of course you take it out on the employees who work there, and then they take it out on the next customer and they get frustrated. And everybody it turns into a bad day for everybody. But just imagine if people couldn't buy food, okay? And this is why you need to have a good stash of cash, because this kind of thing can and will happen in increasing amounts in the future, and this is affecting millions of people. So like I say, it's not the end of the world. It's not a national emergency yet, although it wouldn't take much for it to turn to that, because if the banks run out of actual cash, which I'm sure a lot of these ATMs are going to be drained this morning, because I seen lineups of people trying to get money out of ATMs this morning. And the smart people, would have had a bit of a stash of cash. Because I know as preppers, we always think, cash is trash type mentality. You got to get your gold, got to get your silver. But in the early phases of any grid down collapse, cash is what people are going to recognize. Because the majority of people aren't even going to put... I'm going to wager that even, well into a apocalyptic situation, people are so trained to the dollar, and people are so, at the whim of the normalcy bias, that people will be accepting cash long after it's worth nothing. Just because, there's that naive optimism about the situation as a whole, which will, factor its way into that aspect of things, into people just wishing and believing. It's like I bet you any money that people will hold on to their cell phones long after they're a paperweight and there's no internet service, just because, you know, it's a comforting tool. I mean, I'm going to be brutally honest. I'm addicted because, of course, I do a lot of business on the smartphone, but it's how we connect with the world. And as much as we don't need the internet to survive anymore, we kind of do in a lot of ways, because a lot of the life support systems we've now built on that internet substrate. And were it to go down, a lot of these things are going to be impacted, and it's going to create chaos. It's going to create pandemonium. And I seen that this morning just in going to the bank, because I had to do some international banking, and just going to, you know, local coffee shop. It was, you know, people losing their minds over over not getting their coffee. So all I can say, guys, is prepare, prepare, prepare. Now, we have a lot of other news, World War Z type news, but we're going to save that for a separate video, okay? And stay tuned, because we have a video with Joel Skousen. It's going to be released tomorrow. We're going to be doing a video on bartering and various means of barter next week. We also are going to be doing a revisit of the Starlink service, because they've released a new Starlink service, which is, we've done a review on it before, but this new one is one that you can use, you can roam with it, okay? We're also going to be doing numerous other videos that I'm just, there's a long list. So, you know, for all you guys who only come on the videos where it's all shock and awe stuff, those are important, but I never see you guys on our more practical how-to videos, and that's probably because you're hypocrites, and you know, you're just in this for entertainment value. But, you know, there's a lot of hypocrisy out there, so I would encourage you, if you're just in this for entertainment, go watch some doomsday films. There's lots of great doomsday movies out there. If you don't really want to take prepping seriously, if you don't want to actually put in the hard work, then, you know, go and just do that instead, and leave us alone. Thanks for watching. Canadian Prepper out.